Hello, everyone. This is Ishwari J with the Unbounded Entrepreneur, and this is our expert interview series. And today, our special guest is Sharon Lechter, who is a co-author of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and has been written many books. This book was a best-selling New York Times best-selling book, and has written a dozen of other book, was asked by the foundation Think and Grow Rich to come on board and help with her expertise in finances and mastering wealth, and co-wrote wow, so many books. There was I believe there was 3 Feet from Gold, co-wrote Outwitting the Devil, and I love how Sharon helps people to move from being slave of their money and becoming masters of their money by providing education. And I love how Sharon says that receiving financial education is a gift of a lifetime. And so welcome, Sharon. It's so good to have you with us, and I'm just so happy to have you, because I know you've dedicated your life to help people to set themselves free with their wealth. And what I'd like to know is, were you always like that, or how did this all begin? Would you be able to share that with us?
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be with you. I love you, and I love David, and so excited to be part of your series. I just turned 60 in January, so I've been around a long time.
Congratulations.
I've been a CPA for close to 40 years, so it's something that I've been involved in the money side of things for a long time. But my passion for financial education actually really took hold of me in 1992 when our oldest son went off to college. And he went off to college and got into credit card debt. And I was absolutely angry beyond belief, not just at him, but at myself, because I thought I had taught him about money. I had taught him all the things my parents had taught me, and when I graduated from college, I had saved up $21,000 to start my life and my career. And within the first few months of his first freshman year in college, he came home and said he was $2,500 in credit card debt. And he'd had a really good time, but got himself into debt and came home and expected us to bail him out. And so I realized that there weren't credit cards when I went off to college. And so he had gotten himself into this situation of free money, free pizza, free money, sign up here and get a credit card, and somebody else giving away towels, sign here, free credit card. And so he got caught into that trap, and I realized that even though I had taught him the principles about money, he was with me when I used my credit cards. He just wasn't with me when I paid them off every month. And that was December of 1992. So we're talking 22 years ago when I really dedicated the rest of my career to financial education. And I really focus on 3 primary areas. One is young people with families, young people getting control of their own life. The second area is women, and of course both of those are part of the family. And then the third piece is entrepreneurship, because I truly believe entrepreneurship is how we got out of the Great Depression, and I think entrepreneurship, and certainly your kind of show, is so important to help people create value and create opportunities for themselves.
Thank you so much. Yes. So you mentioned about you working with women, with young people, and with entrepreneur. And how does that look like? When do people just come to you with their issue? Are you doing this via sharing your books? What are some of the way you can help people when they feel that they need some guidance? And I know you do mentoring, correct?
Yes, I do mentoring, and my background is one of being a serial entrepreneur. I started and created brands and major businesses. Before I got into financial education, I helped build the brand of talking children's books, books that have the sound strips down the side. So I helped create that brand and build it globally. Then in Rich Dad, I built that organization and that brand globally as well. And I did that in hand with my husband, Michael Lechter, who's an intellectual property attorney. And so we now help others who are looking at their business saying, how do I get the next level? Well, who is that next strategic partner that I need? Do I have myself protected, both from a legal perspective and from a financial perspective? And so we can really go in and analyze your business and identify areas of weakness, celebrate the areas of strength, and help people get to that next level through helping them find the next strategic alliance, that next partner that they need. And so people call us the master advisors, and we don't have a rote curriculum like a lot of coaches do. We actually tailor make what we're doing with each individual and make sure that they are getting value, much more value than what they're paying for us, to make sure that they are getting success and push down the road of success for their own business to get to that next level. So that's something that we do together or individually to help people who have needs within their businesses.
Sounds like you have a full package that goes even beyond just wealth and money strategies with the business that you're doing with your husband. And I had a lot of questions that are more generic, but I'm hearing that what you do is very customized, like tailgated to each individual. So what I'm thinking is there like a particular type of issues that people like roadblocks that people come to you with that is kind of recurring, that you have a little bit of a teaser solution or step to give our audience right now?
Well, a lot of people start their business and they're very energetic, they're very enthusiastic, and they start having success, and the business starts growing, and all of a sudden they feel stagnated because they're trying to do so many different things, and they don't know where to turn. And in 3 Feet from Gold, we basically had the personal success equation. Well, hello,
I have no recollection whatsoever.
So we have David Corbin that just showed up.
Hello. Hello, David.
Hold on one second, gentlemen. Hey, guys, I'm sorry. I'm on another teleconference. I am like so going crazy here. I'm so happy to see you, Sharon and Ishwari.
Do you want to come back after your call?
I'm going to come back as soon as I'm done.
Okay, so just click on the yeah, we'll see you later. Click on the little camera so that we
Okay.
and you mute your mic.
Let's see how that works.
You did it. Very good. You popped in.
I love that. David Corbin is now a pop-up.
He's a pop-up, right? So he'll be back. Well, it's always he always put a smile on our faces, so that's good. So I have no idea what you were talking about, the typical roadblock, and you were making a very good point. You were talking about something I experienced. Let me tell you, this whole phase where you're going so far, and then suddenly this overwhelm, we're taking on too many roles, and I think we cut it right here. So I'm going to let you continue from here.
Well, in 3 Feet from Gold, we talked to a lot of successful people today about how they got through the difficult moments in their businesses, and we came up with a personal success equation. And so one of the things Mike and I do is work people through that so that they can identify the areas that they need to work on first. Because what happens is you go to a weekend seminar and you get overwhelmed with all these ideas, and you get back to on Monday, you get back to your office and life starts up again, and we really need people to be focused on what they need to start first and accomplish to start moving their business in the right direction. And the personal success equation is taking your passion and your talent. So for me, passion is financial education. My talent is the fact that I'm a CPA and I have experience in publishing. But then a lot of people stop there because they think they have to build the business all on their own. And what we want people to expand their mind and say, well, no, the next equation is association, making sure you have the right people around you, the right mastermind, the right group of advisors and mentors, the right group of partners and strategic alliances. Instead of trying to build something on your own, go find another company, another organization who's already successful in that space and have them help you. It will speed you to market quicker. And taking the right action, understanding what it is you're doing and how you're spending your time to make sure that you're moving your business forward. And of course, the last piece of the personal success equation is faith. Having faith in yourself, have faith in your business, have faith in what you're providing to the market is valuable and needed. The most successful businesses do one of two things: solve a problem or serve a need. And so we've got a lot of problems and a lot of needs in the market today. And so people, what happen? They get excited, they get some success, and they start growing, and they haven't brought in the structure and the systems to help them expand. And those systems is where we basically excel. We can come in and help you create those systems with strategic partners so that you can duplicate yourself. And that's what's so important. And then a lot of people end up, their business falters because they haven't put in that underpinning, the foundation, that back office structure.
Yeah, wonderful. You gave us a lot of little golden nugget. I love that you simplify to, business have only do only two things: either solve problem or fill out a need. And you made it very simple. I just want to review because I took notes for myself. First, you apply your passion and your talent. You prioritize, and then you associate either with mentors, alliance partnership, or mastermind. And just right there, they're really those steps are really essential. And I love how you mix the mindset aspects, as you talk about the faith, and also the tactic and the strategy. So I can tell that your program is very comprehensive. Is it people do this for like a full year with you, or how does it look like?
Again, we totally customize it. Some people may need just a few hours to help them get to the next level. Other people want to be counseled on a monthly basis. People want us to serve as advisors or as board members. So everybody's needs are different. And so one program can't satisfy everyone's needs. And we are into we want to work with the individuals and their companies to make sure they get the service they need and only the service they need so that they are focused on success.
That's great. And you were mentioning to me earlier that you had a resistance to write a book specifically dedicated to women, and now you're coming out with Think and Grow Rich for Women, I believe June 17th, and we'll talk about that as people can actually pre-purchase the book before it comes out in the 17th. But can you share a little bit of that resistance and how you overcame and why writing this for women? Yes.
I just got the first copy. I'm going to hold it up so everybody can see it.
Oh, yeah. Here it is. Think and Grow Rich for Women.
Yeah, I just got the first copy, and it will be released June 17th. We're very excited about it. Napoleon Hill wrote the original book, Think and Grow Rich, and it was released in 1937, at the time when all the titans of business were all men. And so he went out and researched and talked to 500 of the most successful men of his time. And I read Think and Grow Rich when I was 19, and many, many times since then. And so I always resisted doing something specifically for women because I really think the steps to success are the same for men and women. And I really resisted kind of separating us. But as I enter the twilight of my career, I really, particularly the last few years, have realized that while the steps to success are the same, men and women tend to approach those steps differently. We have a little bit different mindset, a little different philosophy. And so Think and Grow Rich for Women, I'm very excited. The foundation asked me, Napoleon Hill Foundation asked me to, and they authorized Think and Grow Rich for Women. And in the book, I've talked to over 300 different women and highlight their steps. It's in the same chapter outline as the original Think and Grow Rich. And so each chapter starts with a synopsis of Napoleon Hill's message as it relates to auto-suggestion, as it perseverance, persistence, burning desire, faith. All of those chapters are followed the same format as Think and Grow Rich. But then for each chapter, I bring in several successful women. They've used that principle to create success in their own life. And then I talk about how I've used that principle in my life to create the success that I have today. And then I end up each chapter with the mastermind, sisterhood mastermind. And it's a series of quotes, and they weren't easy to find. We need to get more female quotes out there. But a series of quotes of women related to that principle. And then at the very end of each chapter, I have a section called Ask Yourself. I want the reader to internalize and think about that principle and how she has used that principle in her own life. And I have to tell you, I'm really thrilled with the outcome. Incredible women. Not only, and the definition of success is very different. Success doesn't necessarily mean money. Success and significance is how do you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. It's just something that, so it's very important. And the whole purpose of writing Think and Grow Rich for Women, and why I am now very passionate about it, is I want to change the dialogue. There's so much dialogue in the last few years about the glass ceiling and not enough women CEOs and the wage gap. It's all negative talk. I want to change from negativity and complaining about women in the economy and women in the workplace to one of celebration, a celebration of how far women have come. For instance, there's complaining that there's only 23 and now 24 women CEOs in Fortune 500 companies. And do we need more? Of course we do. But in the year 2000, there were only 2. So let's celebrate the progress that has been made from 2 to now 24. And in fact, 1 was added in May. So the book says 23. It's now 24. Let's celebrate what's been accomplished and turn that negativity into one of positive celebration. Same thing, wage gap. It's 77 cents to the dollar, women against men. And it's been static. And does that need to change? Of course it does. But the stats are in. Young women, 24 to 35, are at 92 cents to the dollar. So there's been progress made. There's been change. And so we want to celebrate that and continue moving that direction. We talk about we need more women on corporate boards. 16.9% of the board members are women. Yes, we definitely do. But instead of complaining about that, let's accentuate, and we now have the proof positive that boards with men and women on them outperform those that are male-only boards by 66%. That's what we should be shouting from the mountaintops. That's what we should be celebrating. And if we can start changing the dialogue from complaining to celebrating, we're going to see more progress more quickly, because we're going to have people wanting to be champions for women. Instead of complaining about the men out there, male bashing, men holding women back, let's instead celebrate the men who are champions for women, like David Corbin. Let's celebrate the men that are out there that are opening doorways and helping women succeed, because they will want to stay that way and others will want to become champions. So the whole purpose of this book is to really change the mindset of not women feeling suppressed, that war on women, but let's change it to one of, let's see what's happening with women. And it's a tipping point. Women are gaining more and more control over the economy. Women will be the future of the economy. And I think that's really, I'm very, very excited, as you can probably hear from my passion.
I totally get it. You're totally passionate about this topic, and I love the idea of working together, and especially the energetic of men and women, especially in the workforce, as being of. I could almost feel like the men are afraid of the women coming into their power, and that your contribution with this book and the shift that's happening right now is shifting that, so we move from competition to collaboration and to trusting that together we're empowering each other, both gender, women cooperating with women and men, and not the opposite. So that's very inspiring. Now, what I feel as more women are stepping into this leadership and empowerment and just creating their own wealth and independence versus codependence, do you have anything to share about coming from a place without losing our femininity, which sometimes I've experienced certain women, in order to overcome the old limitation, will just harden themselves and lose sight of, we still are women. So do you have something to share about that?
Oh, that's a very important point. Well, I'm going to use an example. When I first started my career back in the mid-70s, there were very few women in the workplace. I was only the 5th woman ever hired in my accounting firm. And so 2 or 3 of us that started about the same time, we would come to work with our hair in buns, in our pinstripe pantsuits. We wanted to like hide our femininity. And it was just like 2 years later that we got notice that we had passed our CPA exam. So we all went out, we took the buns out, we got skirts and dresses and started acting like women in our own power. And there are women out there still today that are being very masculine, and that's the choice that they're making. But I want to celebrate that if that choice is helping them become successful and that's the path they're taking, Great. Let's celebrate that that's a path they're taking. But I want women, and that's the tagline of the book, is using your power to create success and significance. I want women to find their own feminine power. Every one of us has feminine attributes and masculine attributes, even men. And so it's which one is needed when, and making sure that women support each other. When Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In, came out last year, I was working on this book already, and it was proof positive to me that it was very needed, because she was pummeled. She was criticized primarily by other women. And I go, well, wait a minute. Her pathway to success worked for her. Let's celebrate her success and the fact that she's sharing that. It may not be the right formula for you or for me, but why criticize her? You know, each one of us has our opportunity to create the pathway to success that works for us. And let's celebrate each other and help each other find the pathway that's right for each of us. And that, again, is that attitude of, you know, yes, there are some women out there that are very masculine. They're still not very supportive of other women, and that makes me sad. But I think we start highlighting and celebrating those women who are making a difference for other women, you're going to see those other gals start waking up and saying, wait a minute, maybe I do need to focus on the fact that, because they're not allowing their feminine qualities to add value to what they're doing, and I think that's a shame.
And ultimately, like you say, the whole concept of wealth is way beyond financial wealth. It's also how do you feel about yourself. And I don't think if you are competing, and which sometimes is based on fear, there's an ultimate fulfillment to that. So I hear what you're saying, that it's almost like this law of momentum as women step into their wholeness in terms of power. There's this entrainment where other women will continue follow, and I really see this movement happening, and very grateful that you're part of that. As your book is launching, do you see yourself creating certain, what's the in the near future, what's the vision after this book? Is there anything you would like to share about that?
Well, I'm very excited. We're going to be launching it next week in New York City at the Inspiration 2020 event. Then I'm going to have, we're going to also launch it at Secret Knock in August in San Diego. I have a launch here in Arizona with the National Bank of Arizona. And then I'll also be at John Assaraf's event in San Diego. So we've got a lot of events where we're going to be spreading the word about the book. But I want to go back to something that you talked about, because I think one of the biggest areas for women is that lack of self-confidence, and we want to help women find their own power to feel confident in their own skin. And part of that is that age-old guilt trip for finding balance in work life. And I want women to stop using their energy to feel worried and feel guilty about work-life balance, because that's all negativity. And I want people to get rid of the word balance in your life and think of one big life. You have the opportunity every day to determine how you're going to spend your time, whether you're going to be spending it on family, on leisure, on work, and understand that we all have the opportunity to make a different choice today than we made yesterday. And women tend to carry guilt around like a bag of potatoes, and we want them to understand that they have the opportunity to make any choice they want. Hello, my dear David.
Hi, Ms. Sharon. I'm listening to as much as I possibly can while I was doing this teleconference, and I'm running to do I'm doing a training workshop in 35 minutes. So, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity of getting together with two amazingly powerful ladies. How could I not pull that Shakti out of the webcam here?
Great to see you, David. We're talking about the woman empowerment right now, and how Sharon's new book, Think and Grow Rich for Women, is coming out very soon, June 17, and how it's going to be a part of changing the way women are stepping up in the workplace, and so we're happy to see you, because you are one of the supporters of such women.
I am. I firmly believe that it's the feminization of the business community, dare I say the world, which is going to be the saving grace. And I'm not pandering, and I'm not blowing smoke here. We know that the characteristics, the feminine characteristics of the business leader today are not only compelling, but they're associated with productivity and profitability. Dare I say authenticity, vulnerability, and goal orientation. So, yeah, so I think this is an important conversation, and I have really nothing to add except my admiration and support. And I think books like Think and Grow Rich for Women, utilizing the immutable principles that that Dr. Hill put together, and putting it in terms that women recognize, oh my gosh, that's me. That's the highest form of me. I want to do more of that. While society is saying, and has said for so many years, no, you take your place. Oh, that's our friend Harry Paul. He wrote the book Fish, and that's another book expressing mirth and joy in the workplace, which is so anti-testosterone. It's fabulous. So, so I think that June 17th is going to be a major launch, and for good reason.
In fact, yeah, everybody should look on the side, little chat, all the audience. I'm going to enter. It's sharonlechter.com/woman. So I'll write this in the box, in the chat box, for everybody to go and grab their books in pre-launch. You can actually pre-purchase it before it comes out. And it's funny, I was thinking of your book Illuminate, David, when Sharon was talking about the situation in the corporate world with women, and about illuminating. It felt like she was talking about illuminating the negative and underlying the positive. Remember, Sharon, when you said something like that?
Let me say we want to illuminate the negative and get rid of it and make sure we accentuate the positive. And instead of male bashing, let's celebrate the men like David who are great champions for women. And that's one of the initiatives I want. You know, as David just mentioned, the proof is there that corporations with board members that have men and women on them outperform male-centric boards by 66% on return on invested equity. So the proof is there. Let's talk about that instead of complaining about the men that don't hire women. Let's celebrate those that do and show the positive results. You can't argue with the statistics.
Figures don't lie. And I want to add this training that I'm going to do on the board of directors are two very prominent women who are leading the cause of this particular organization. This is an organization that is it's an Institute for Integrative Health. And one woman is Alicia Gwynn. Now, she's the wife of Tony Gwynn, who's a Hall of Fame all-star baseball player, and a woman by the name of Heather Boney. And her family owns a company called Sprouts, which, as you know, as some people know from my Facebook, I spend thousands and thousands of dollars for my herbs and tonics and potions and organic foods, as facilitated and stimulated by my mentor, the one and only Ishwari J. So, Heather, if you're watching, please know that your stock has risen because of the lady who's facilitating this hangout. And I'm not at all surprised that Sharon would mention Illuminate, as I so often mention her concepts, not just from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and not just from you know the entire devil conversation, but because philosophically we're twins who were separated at birth. You see, we believe in personal responsibility. We believe in the ultimate goodness of people and the opportunity of people. And we also believe in the importance of financial responsibility to be able to undermine the big life that people really want to live. And so thank you for the shout out, Sharon. And most importantly, thank you for the work that you do. Dare I say, the legislative work that you've done. I mean, this woman was a powerhouse and almost was her own Marva Collins in the area of financial responsibility and early stage teaching and development. And all of the things that, you know, as president of Think and Grow Rich, you know, I'm not Think and Grow Rich, excuse me, but Rich Dad Poor Dad, all of the impact that you've done. And that's where my heart is because I just got off a teleconference with my partner in the ABLE conference, the Anti-Bullying Leadership Experience, to impact youth in that area. So we're sister and brother from a different mother, working in an arena of making a difference in this world before our expiration date kicks in.
In fact, Sharon, you also have done the Think and Grow Rich for kids, and you have a game for children to be empowered with their finances.
Yes, in fact, David, I'd love to talk to you about your program, ABLE, because it's another passion of mine. But part of what we've created is a Thrive Time for Teens board game, and it's not just about money. It is teaching young people that they are in the driver's seat of their own life, and that the decisions they make, how they treat others, how they handle their money, and most importantly, how they handle their time, is going to dictate whether they succeed, thrive, or dive into debt. And so it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of humor. We've won all kinds of awards, and it's actually sitting right here behind me if you can see it. This is the game here, Thrive Time for Teens, and I've been very excited about the response we've had and continuing to grow with making a difference in young people's lives. But it's important to know that each and every one of us is responsible for taking care of these kids in the future. And if we give them the gift of financial education, it's the gift of a lifetime. Once a young person knows how to make money on their own, the sky's the limit. And that's what we have to do. We need to make sure these kids have the tools they need to succeed.
Wonderful. So look at that little dog here. Who is that?
This is a guy. He's already got a bank account. He's very excited. He read your books. He loves this one. He's working on this one right now. He's not quite done with it, only because he's just finishing up this one. So,
love it, love it, love it.
Nice.
That game is fabulous, and I got that game. I don't know how long ago, Sharon, and I played with Jason and Amanda, my niece and nephew, and they really enjoyed the process. And I couldn't believe how easily they adapted to it. They really got excited, and we were able to. They learned some concepts, but it facilitated a conversation about concepts. Conversation that goes on to this day. They'll ask Uncle David certain questions, which is pretty cool.
And the beauty of it, David, is that it allows you to have that conversation without the emotion, because you've got a standard to talk about, and life situations are presented that you can discuss, and it doesn't become personal. It doesn't come like a parent judging a child or an aunt or uncle judging a niece or nephew. It's a conversation, so you can address the situation in a non-emotional environment, and that's the beauty of it.
That's exactly what we're doing in the anti-bullying. We're opening the conversation, and what happens when you open the conversation? That's when the magic happens. Now, when you lecture and you mandate and you tell and you scold and you look, but when the conversation happens, when it bubbles up, because children, young adults, just like adults, never argue with their own findings, right? When they discover it, it's like, then that's really smart.
Everything I do is experiential learning, David, for exactly that reason. Is when it comes from within. Even in writing a book, my books are all storytelling. So that if it's a lecture, it's a textbook. It's you read a book and it goes into your eye to your brain. Book, eye, brain. When you have storytelling and you involve the emotion, then it's experiential. So you're reading a book and it's coming in your eye, but it's coming down into your heart, and then to your brain. And when that happens, it is an imprint, and that imprint stays with you. And it's when somebody can experience opportunity, experience setbacks with the game. These children will experience great opportunities, they'll experience failures, and in a safe environment with play money, so that when they get out into the real world, they're better prepared. And it teaches them the vocabulary of money. It sounds like a simple thing, but it's huge. Just understanding the vocabulary of money gives them self-confidence that you would never believe. It's amazing.
I just got to say, first off, when it comes to experiential learning and teaching, Ishwari is masterful at that. But that's a different story. But I want to say that because when we did some mentoring together with some people that we mentored across the country, we use the 5 principles of impact, repetition, utilization, internalization, and reinforcement and all. But I want to say this to what you just said, Sharon, and then I'll shut up and let you guys do your thing. And that is this. Taking a play off Broadway makes a whole hell of a lot more sense than starting it out on Broadway, right? Right? And so being able to understand financial concepts and make mistakes or make wins in the, if you will, in the, let's say, early stage or game environment makes a heck of a lot more sense than waiting till you're older and doing it with your real money in the real environment. And I wish to heck that the mistakes that I made in real life with real dollars, right, real family nest egg money, I had done beforehand and done it off Broadway before I took it on Broadway in real life. And that is going to make a huge difference because, as our friend Dennis Waitley says, when it comes to the visualization, specificity rules the day. And when you specifically do these exercises and you make your mistakes or make your wins, it just prepares you for the grist mill of reality. And man, if people were able to do that at an early age, I shudder to think what would happen with all of the breakthroughs that could happen in business instead of all the breakdowns that we're experiencing today.
Well, I know that you've just experienced this as well, David. These young people, they are brilliant. And what we just need to give them that environment and feed them the opportunity to have that brilliance come out instead of the 12 years of schooling where things have been drilled into their head. You know, if you give them that, ignite that entrepreneurial spirit, it's amazing what they come up with. And it just is, it's refreshing for the future of our economy when you can see the brilliance that they have. And their impatience for making a contribution in the world. They want to get out there and create things. It's very exciting.
Yeah, they're excited to get out of the laboratory of learning into the grist mill of reality. And, you know, this country, unfortunately and sadly, and I don't want to sound negative, but we don't really seem to have the character that's required in many areas. Character I'll define as following through on a task long after the excitement of its inception has died down, right? So they get all excited, and then it kind of wanes and goes down. I just had a conversation with our friend Les Brown the other day, Friday, and you know, we were all excited to do some work in South Africa to support our friends, and everybody in the panel, from Les and Mark Victor, and a lot of people said, "Oh, we're going to come down and work with you," and only one bozo really did. And I said, okay, fine, that's because I've got character, you know. So, no, it was really, everybody got excited, but then they got back to the business. And they may be overcommitted, because these are really magnificent people, right? But a lot of the kids don't have the character. And where I'm going with that is, what's lacking is a concept called apprenticeship. Apprenticeship. You see, in Europe, you have to apprentice for 4 or 5 years, where Ishwari's from, that foreign planet called France. It's in the solar system, though, right?
Yes.
They have to apprentice for 4 or 5 years before they can get the position and get paid what they call master scale wages. Now, apprenticeship is often looked on in the United States as being an intern physician, where you're basically there to just get crapped on, and in some cases you are. But apprenticeship is not that way. Apprenticeship is an applied knowledge transference. It's a master's degree in your craft. And when you have that apprenticeship, and you have what you're talking about, Sharon, is the entrepreneurial prowess with the basic business concepts, the building blocks for you to build upon, holy mackerel, we could take this country back. We could literally take this country back, which is now...
And it's about the only way we will, David. We have got to ignite that entrepreneurial spirit in adults as well as young people.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way we're going to get ourselves back on solid ground, because with the national debt, international economic crisis, the only way to get us back on solid ground is through entrepreneurship.
Well, remember the numbers, 20 by 20, 20 million new entrepreneurial jobs by the year 2020. That's what it's going to take. And if not, I fear that this great nation that my father took a bullet for and my grandfather took a bullet for is in deep doo-doo. It's why I drink bourbon at 12 a foot. No, this is tea. Hey, listen, I've got 20 minutes to get to my to go to a workshop, and so far, these are the only notes that I've put together. So I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to talk about on the way there.
I'm not at all worried that you'll come up with something brilliant, as always.
How exciting to see you, and Ishwari, exciting to see you. I love you both.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
All right, I'm muting out of here. Much
Thank you, David.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, fun to have David on board.
That's a true treat. He's wonderful. And I think, the other piece when we're talking about teaching kids or even adults, what David brings to the table is a heavy dose of humor along with reality. And that humor is what we do with our kids as well. It really helps people get through those barriers of the fear of criticism, fear. It's a way to get past the fear. And he's just brilliant. I love him.
He's very, very, very good at what he does. And I agree with you. I'm launching a new product right now who takes in consideration transmuting those negative emotions such as fear and overwhelm. And a lot has to do with lightening up with joy and celebration and laughter. And it really is powerful. It just expands the capacity to use both part of the brain and to retain more information and then to be more able to manifest, of course.
I love it. I can't wait to see your product. That's super.
Thank you. And so we went all the way to almost our 45 minutes. I did put on the chat box if anybody had questions, and all I got is people really wanted to get the replay. So I usually do send a replay to everyone right after, within 24 hours. And I put your link, the link for people to pre-purchase your book, The Think and Grow Rich for Women. So I'll just remind everyone, please, please, please go there and pre-purchase this book. And if you're not a woman and you happen to know a woman in your life, it's a wonderful gift. A gift of giving financial education is a gift of life for any woman in your circle if you're in this audience and you happen not to be a woman. And so I really I inspire everybody to just grab a couple books and make your little pal for a birthday gift or any kind of celebration to give them away and offer them as a gift. So if we had last words of wisdom, Sharon, for everybody who are listening, something that's dear to you that you would like to convey for everybody to be empowered with their wealth, what would it be?
Well, absolutely. I would also want to add that anybody that pre-orders the book is eligible for some free gifts, which you will find at sharonlechter.com/women or thinkandgrowrichforwomen.com. We have some special gifts for people who are helping us in the pre-ordering process. So I want to make sure I mention that as well. You can order it through Amazon or BNN and then come to that website and get your free gifts. We just want to really increase and spread the word and make this the powerful book, get it to as many people's hands as we possibly can. But in closing, when you talk about that piece of advice, I really want women to understand that they are tremendous beings. And I do a seminar where I ask people to write down one-word descriptions of themselves. And when I do it with women, I say, I want you to write down who you are. Who are you? And I had the same issue with it when I did it. And what happens is I then ask, how many of you wrote down your own name? And fewer than 2 out of 100 will have written down their own name. And it's because women, we tend to define ourselves through the eyes of others. We tend to want to be fear of criticism. So for instance, when I first did this, I said, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, but I never wrote down Sharon. And I wanted to bring it home because I guarantee you, we want to serve everybody else first. And we've all heard that put your own oxygen mask on first before you put it on your child. And I actually resisted that for years. But I know, again, I'm entering the twilight of my career, I've sacrificed at certain times my own health because of business. We all make sacrifices and we make choices, but we need to take better care of ourselves. And if we take better care of ourselves, then we can be better mothers, better wives, better sisters, better businesswomen. And so if there's something that I need to share, that is it. Because as I'm sitting here talking to you, I have a broken foot from running too fast in Russia. And so it's something that I have to keep saying that so I hear it for myself. But and I know that that's a very strong message for you, and I want to applaud you on all that you're doing and the incredible change that you help people make in their lives.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your broken foot. That's so terrible. And you keep a great smile. And thank you for this message, because as you know, I'm big with holistic lifestyle, and I too burnt out in my previous career and ended up having chronic fatigue because I did it all myself and repaired. And now I just love that you completed this interview with this message. I'm just totally in alignment with this. So thank you again so much for being with us. I'm so honored, and I'm looking forward to reading this book and to share more of this life transformational path together, helping women and everyone being wealthy in a way that's keeping all the other area of life in balance. Thank you, Sharon.
Well, thank you so much, and you're fantastic. Love you, and thank you all who are watching this. And it's a great opportunity, and I appreciate the support so very much.
Thanks a lot. Love you too. See you soon. Bye now.
Bye-bye.